Victoria's prison system is under attack tonight on two fronts. Department of Justice figures reveal assaults and drug abuse in prisons are at a 5-year high. And the Auditor-General has panned the private companies that run some of our jails, saying they're not delivering value for money. As Josie Taylor reports, it was one of dozens of reports tabled in State Parliament today.
This is what the opposition calls a deliberate attempt to avoid scrutiny. Dozens of annual reports dumped in Parliament at the same time. One from the Auditor-General was highly critical of government contracts with companies that run jails like Fulham and Port Phillip. The report found the Department of Justice can't show it's getting value for money from private prisons. It's failed to fine prison companies despite consistent service failures. Prison manuals and risk management plans have gone missing, and it's likely the prisons will be returned to government in shoddy condition. The Corrections Minister blames the previous government, last in power 11 years ago.
They are long-term contracts. You just can't rip up a long-term contract.
Well, heavens above that Bob Cameron would not take responsibility.
And Department of Justice figures reveal prison assaults and positive drug tests are both at 5-year highs. In the last year, there were 3 escapes and 8 deaths in custody. The Corrections Minister's response was to blame the prisoners.
You know, they're the worst, they're the baddest people in society.
A former prison chaplain says that's a disgraceful attitude.
We need a far more sophisticated approach than simply dismissing incidents in prison in this way.
Out of so many reports, the government was keen to emphasise this one. The annual financial report shows that Victoria's surplus has gone up from about $400 million to about $650 million. But revenue from fines is also higher than expected by about $90 million.
And state coffers were pumped up by about $1.6 billion in gaming revenue, with a record $5.1 billion lost on gambling. Pokie losses dropped by about $100 million, balanced out by a similar rise in losses at Crown Casino. Josie Taylor, ABC News, Melbourne.